it sucks. Just kidding, but hi again for real this time, guys, and please excuse that small bit of nihilism that I made you put up with towards the end of that silent section. Life really isn't that bad, so long as you aren't trapped within the confines of a box with only your thoughts and an empty Gatorade bottle for company. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about images that you can hear. Not an image that makes a sound literally, because that would have been a bit strange. Either that, or you've accidentally opened a video file that's just the still image with an audio layer over it, you booming dumbass. Now, images that you can hear is actually a genre of image that I've covered before, however briefly on the Kwite YouTube channel. And the video that I covered it in was my video on cursed images. And I figured, what better way to milk a topic than by pretending that I'm making a second video on one I've already covered more briefly in a different video, by pretending that I'm expanding on what I said there in the first video. It's pure genius and something only I, Kwite, am capable of coming up with. Now, jokes aside, there are a few aspects of the image you can hear that I intentionally glossed over in the cursed image video to keep with it thematically, but what I did cover in that cursed images video were still images that were very closely associated with the sound or sounds that have remained in the public conscious for a long time. Or at least they were strong in the public conscious at the time that I was looking at them. But whether that be a result of pop culture injecting incorrect Star Wars quotes into our head via the now defunct Dory Twitter account, or because of some common thing we've all heard in our younger years that have since passed, a couple of examples I used of images you can hear in that video was actually just an image of text describing a sound, so upon further review that may count as cheating, but you can lick my balls, my marbles specifically, because one of the sounds listed was marbles rolling on a wooden floor. That was a sound I could definitely relate to, as well as a soda can being opened, a plastic covered library book being pressed flat, crunching the binding, and wood popping and crackling as it burns. There's a fifth sound listed, but I'm not reading it because I don't feel like it. Some of my favorite examples of images you can hear, though, are ones from TV shows of my childhood, or that have had some significance to my life in the form of me growing up watching them, or having them meme to shit for me, forever ruining any unironic entertainment value they could ever give me or have ever given me, namely SpongeBob. Like, if I show you one frame of SpongeBob and Squidward walking, with SpongeBob screaming to the sky so loudly that he'll probably cough his lungs out soon. Oh, and he's also holding a pizza box. There's a good chance that you'll know exactly what sound that image is making. Another image that I can distinctly hear is a still frame of the Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated tower from Phineas and Ferb. I easily recall that jingle that is so inseparably attached to that imagery in my head, like a baby to an umbilical cord, except stronger because you can break umbilical cords. Also, if you show me the THX logo or a screenshot of a PS2 startup, Xbox 360 startup, the Game Boy Advance startup, or like a Wii booting up or some shit, I know that sound better than I know my own origin story. And lastly, before we move on to the genre of audible memes that I glossed over in my cursed images video, you can most definitely hear the music that plays when you see a man jumping off a bridge in a first-person shooter from a certain someone's 250,000 subscriber special. Oh yeah, and you can also probably hear Pyrocynical saying, "So guys, we did it," somewhere in there. Now, the image type I glossed over in my cursed images video was GIFs, pronounced with a G sound. I will say this again, but if you pronounce it like GIF, you are fucking wrong, you peanut butter sucking termite. The reason I didn't really include those in my cursed images video is because my whole shtick for getting that video to 10 minutes was some trademarked, quite pretending to be smart commentary on the differences between cursed videos and cursed photos, and how the intention behind creating both is different. A video captures life in motion, while images capture life at a standstill, blah 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 blah, it's all bullshit. Okay, not really, but you get the joke. But while GIFs are technically images, they still move and are often just sections of videos without sound. So I didn't want it to be revealed that I'm not really 200 IQ brain Kwite, but in fact, 2 IQ brain Kwite, with no zeros that are both after the 2 and before the decimal. So I said that they were still valid, but that they would have to get their time in the spotlight some other time, which is now. If you show me GIFs of the console startups that I mentioned earlier, I could sync the sound they make in my head. Like, it's kind of the same concept, just easier because you don't have to rely on one single frame to jog your memory. You get a sequence of images, just without sound. So in a way, it's kind of cheating, but yeah, that's about it really. Now, I must say, while they work in the same fashion that any other image connected very strongly to a sound in my memory does, for whatever reason, I'm very partial to screenshots of Vines that I'm somehow able to hear. I don't know why it's Vine specifically, but something about Vine screenshots makes them very special to me. Let me try and demonstrate what I mean. I think what it is about Vines is that so much happens in such a short frame of time that different frames let me know exactly what part of the soundbite my brain wants me to remember, because they are often representative of things that are so different even if they're only a few seconds apart. Take the "It's Wednesday, my dudes" Vine, for instance. If he's just staring at the mirror, then I think of the bit where he just says "It's Wednesday, my dudes." But but if he's looking up at the ceiling with his mouth wide open, ready to get that bread, I know he's just screaming real loud. Another is the quintessential road work ahead guy Vine. I know his name is Danny Coe or something equally as irrelevant as Vine is now, but the only thing that truly matters here is that he is the road work ahead guy. Please don't kill me, I know who Drew Gooden is. Now the two distinct images that I've seen that make me think of this Vine is A, any picture of a road work ahead sign, whether it's a screenshot of one in the video, a stock photo of one, a poor illustration of one by a toddler, one that you see in reality somewhere, it doesn't matter. I immediately read the sign in my head the way that the guy says it in the Vine. The other image that I deem inseparable from this Vine has got to be that really claustrophobic close-up of Drew Gooden's face, and I again don't mean just from that Vine. If you were to zoom in on Drew Gooden's face on any of his Vines or videos, I immediately think of him saying, yeah, I sure hope it does. Oh my god, what a hoot that is. Like whenever he zooms in on his face in his videos as a gag or whatever, the quote just pops up in my head. I'm sorry, Drew Gooden, but your persona is doomed to be bound to this imagery in my head for the rest of your life and the rest of my life. We are forever connected despite both my real complaints and your hypothetical ones in the event that you were aware of my existence in the first place. I guess you could argue that every clip of the Damn Daniel guy brings up a different way of saying Damn Daniel in the minds of those kids, those whippersnappers, those youth. But really, they all kind of just do the same kind of meme for me. 7 out of 10. There's also that close-up of that guy who looks like Tyler Oakley, who's real mad because his vape cloud got wrecked by Adam, and coincidentally, him saying Adam very angrily is the sound I associate with his face for the rest of eternity. Now, of course, I am only one hoodie with limited perspective and limited work ethic, so to cut back on my need to exercise said limited work ethic, I reached out to you guys on Twitter to send me images that you guys could hear, so that I might hear through the ears of all of you and see how much degeneracy we have in common on this topic. At O Gorsh just sent a pic of Channing Tatum before disaster struck, and he says, I'm still not sure to this day what this world would be like if those words had never left his mouth. Would the Koreas have been reunited by now? Would Waka Flocka be president? Who knows? The reply to my tweet asking for these are definitely a pile of shit, but there are a few Keemstar-shaped diamonds in the rough among this cow manure. Extreme Blitz pulls through again with that fucking heat, busting out the reaction video of Keemstar screaming that Solid Shive is fond of using at every occasion, including wedding videos. Star sent me one as well of a much younger, much more spry Keemstar from back in the days of Vlog TV. That's all I had to say. You guys know what clip I'm talking about at this point. Don't lie. At Salt Bucket, oh whoa. God, I cannot believe I just fucking read that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Well, however off-putting the name, Salt Bucket did manage to deliver some top quality stuff with an image of Kirby giving the almighty suck, the highest form of vacuum power any pink puffball is capable of. Now the sound that might be associated with this imagery in certain people's heads I think has the ability to change from person to person, because the sound that represents Kirby showing one what that mouth do changes depending on the game. But personally, and I don't know why it's this game specifically, the noise of Kirby inhaling from Smash 64 is the one stuck in my head. Don't ask, I already told you I don't know why. If you were listening, you would have caught that one, virgin. I don't actually associate this one with anything, but for some reason I can hear this image of a dude yawning and sucking the rest of the environment around him into his mouth. I have no memory of what this is or where it came from, but it too makes the Kirby suck sound. Strange times we live in. I can't hear this one, but someone who I won't give the satisfaction of naming sent me Sans from Undertale but T-posing, and that person also has that same picture as their profile pic on Twitter. There's no good reason for me putting this here, but I wanted to let you know just in case you were having a bad day, so I could hopefully make that bad day even worse. Ah, what the fuck? Some guy who thinks he's a hoo-ha funny man named Nax Ethan or whatever thought it would be real cute to send me a screenshot of the cat having fallen off the wheelchair into its little bed. Very funny, kid. Listen, I don't know who you are, but that's not cool, man. Sorrow TV sent a gif of Free Real Estate Man, who right after he finishes saying his catchphrase, deforms into a ball of literal physical agony. Listen, Sorrow, I like you. We're both in the business of stealing from Slazo, and I respect you as a peer because of that. But we are going to be having a talk about this later. MoistXD, aka the guy who invented being told to shut up, sent me an image of a guy holding something in front of a building, and I'm getting literally nothing off of this image. No sounds, no energies, no vibes, bad or good, like literally nothing is emanating off of it. It's like a void. But I feel like I have some level of obligation to include it here regardless, because oh my god, MoistXD replied to my tweet. Can you guys believe it? And lastly, we had a guy with Elon Musk smonking and chomping in some of that ganja as his profile picture, sent an image of PewDiePie on the bridge in PUBG, a bridge that will forever now be known as the PewDiePie Bridge. You guys already know what the sound is, even if it's been a while and completely irrelevant to the existence at the moment. I don't need to specify this for you. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. If you want to support the channel a little more directly, you can click that join button next to the subscribe button. You can donate $5 a month to get things like custom emotes and badges. It's totally optional, but it helps the channel out and it's much appreciated. I have a podcast with Wild Spartans and FPS Diesel called Loudmouse, and we're up on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Kwite and on Instagram at Kwite.png. see links to both of those in the description below. And lastly, I have a Discord server. Link to that in the description as well if you're interested. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys